Welcome to the Wendell Mayor Show. I'm Mayor Virginia Gray. I want to thank Paul and Alan White of Universal Chevrolet for allowing us to film in their business today. In addition to being the owner of Universal Chevrolet, Alan White is a member of the American Legion Post 148. We're happy to have with us today Gene Zach, leader of Boy Scout Troop 515, who's going to talk to us about Flag Day and how the American Legion Post 148 and Boy Scout Troop 515 are going to celebrate this special day in Wendell. Both groups are very active in our community. Thank you for joining me today and welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us about the history of Group 515 and how families can get involved.
Well, our troop has, the actual charter for our troop is 86 years old. We're not a new group, but we've been around a long time in this community. And the way you can find us is we're right behind the Wendell Christian Church, which is located at 427 Maddox Street, which basically is on the corner of Maddox Street and Old Zebulon Road. Right. And we're tucked in right behind the church there. And any boys from the age of 11 up to 17, because basically you age out at 18, can join the troop. A lot of the boys come from the Cub Scout Pack, which is also here local, Pack 515, and they'll bridge up like they're going to in a few weeks, or you can just come right off the street and be a Boy Scout.
This past winter, a storm damaged the American flag at our town hall, and at the Harvest Festival, Boy Scout Troop 515 presented a new flag for our town hall. We enjoy it every day, and we appreciate that. Could you tell us how flag etiquette is taught to Boy Scouts?
Right. Well, flag etiquette is probably one of the first things that we do teach the boys. The whole foundation of scouting is around citizenship, and a big part of that is the flag etiquette. So we teach the boys, first of all, how to walk up to a flagpole, for instance, and as they raise the flag, we salute the flag, say the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'll follow up with like our own the Scout Oath. And you lower the flag back down, giving reverence to the flag, and then we fold the flag up, and we don't fold it just like a bed sheet. We fold it into a triangle, right. And then that way all the stars show. Are visible. They make sure that everything else is all tucked in neatly, and then generally they'll hold it against their heart and then carry it off.
The American flag is a prominent symbol for many patriotic holidays. Could you tell us what the American Legion Post and the Boy Scouts are planning to do over the Memorial Day holiday?
It's actually a very busy schedule. We start out ourselves more from a regional area. Is a lot of our scouts, Boy Scouts and the Cub Scouts again, we'll go to the Raleigh National Cemetery, right downtown Raleigh, and we'll put flags out there on all the graves, because every grave there is a veteran that is buried there. Beyond that, though, on Saturday at the Greenmount Cemetery, we will meet up with Al White and the rest of the folks from the American Legion, as well as the Junior ROTC. And we'll go around and put the flags on the graves there of the veterans. That one's a little more tricky. Some of the younger scouts will go with the older scouts, because you have to really look at each grave and make sure that you're finding the correct one. And you can have one group go by and another group come behind them, and they'll always find another. There's graves there from dating back to the Civil War, actually. There's one grave there, and we always make sure we put a flag on that. Beyond that, though, after that day, on Sunday, we meet over at the American Legion Post, which is at 5100 Wendell Boulevard. Just outside of town, it's the log cabin there, so you can't miss it. And that starts 5 o'clock. They also will recognize a number of youth in the community for some of their scholastics achievements that they work with some of the schools locally. And then after that, when that's all done, we serve up hot dogs and drinks and chips, and the scouts help with that as far as getting everything cooked up and carried out, clean up and all the rest. And again, I have to mention that is open to the public, so that's why they're always geared up. And a lot of years we'll have upwards of 300 people there, but there's always room for more. Al and the folks there with the American Legion are always very welcoming to the community, and would just love to see folks come on out there.
I attended that last year. It was very nice.
It was.
It was very nice.
Very nice thing to do for the weekend.
Yeah, it was. Tell me a little bit about how the American Legion and the Boy Scout Troop are going to be involved in Flag Day this year.
So Flag Day, June 14th, we'll meet up with the American Legion over at their site there at Post 148, and they'll have a brief ceremony at the very beginning, and then with the Scouts and with the Legion members, we form two lines, and we have basically a huge palette of the retired flags. It's quite a stack. Sometimes it'll be about 3 foot high, just to give you an idea how many flags we're actually going to retire. And we have as I think Al put it, a crematorium there basically for these flags. We'll take one flag at a time and we'll bring it over, drape it over the fire, and we salute. But we want to pay, a last tribute to each flag properly. And so that's how we do our retirement.
I've actually turned in 2 for y'all to retire this year.
Awesome.
To
That'll
Al.
be great.
Let's talk about the 4th of July a little bit. How are y'all going to be involved in the 4th of July festivities this year?
Well, we'll definitely be marching in the parade. And of course, the American Legion will be in there, and they usually have one of the old Jeeps and the 6-wheel truck they'll have in there, and a lot of the gentlemen will hop in the back of that, and we'll march through town, and it really is a fun opportunity. I mean, to me, it's an honor, frankly, to be able to be out there, and of course to have the boys carrying the American flag, and then we round about to the back side there and come up by the stage, and we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance, and then Al has a very nice display of all the veterans from the area that is up on the stage as well, and that can be seen right here at the Universal Chevrolet if anybody wants to stop in. And they're always open to get other family members that they might have to put the picture and name of that veteran on that board. So again, we encourage that for folks to come on out and really enjoy that parade.
I mentioned earlier that I turned in 2 flags to Alan. If someone has a flag that they'd like to retire, in addition to bringing it here to Alan, what else can they do, or how can they reach you to get a flag retired?
Well, at our Scout Hut, we have a box right out front, and anyone's welcome to, again, go around the back of Wendell Christian Church and find our Scout Hut there, and there's a box labeled out there for flag retirement.
Where you can leave a flag.
They can leave a flag there, and the nice thing too, if you bring a flag back here to Alan, he'll be glad to sell you a new one. He's got all different sizes of flags that you could possibly want.
Replacement flags also.
Yes. And just very high quality flags.
I want to thank Paul and Alan White of Universal Chevrolet for opening up their business and allowing us to film this episode of the Wendell Mayor Show here today. And I want to thank Jean Zach for being my guest. The town of Wendell is very fortunate to have citizens like you who so generously give back to our community. So thank you.
All right, thanks for having me.
Here are some other upcoming community events that you should mark on your calendar. Bring a blanket or a chair and join us at Wendell Falls for Farmhouse Jams, taking place at the beautiful Lake Pavilion next to the farmhouse each Saturday of the month. Chill and unwind as you enjoy live music, catch up with neighbors, and savor the food and beverages from Grounds Cafe. Are you curious about what it's like to sit in the cab of a garbage truck or a big tow truck? Come out to Big Truck Day on Saturday, June 24th. This is a fun event for truck enthusiasts of all ages. Join the Wendell Historical Society and the town of Wendell for the 4th of July parade and celebration. The parade begins on Main Street at Wendell Boulevard and includes veterans, bands, and children in their most patriotic wear as they make their way to the town square for a programming honoring our military. Free hot dogs and fellowship will follow the program. Thank you for joining us for the Wendell Mayor Show.